This is Mac OS Ken.
Apple's $500 investment, a background security improvement issued, and a Tim Cook interview I really wish I had not watched. It is Wednesday, the 18th of March, 2026. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Clean My Mac, keeping Macs clean since 2008. Try 7 days free and use my code MacOSKen20 for 20% off at clnmy.com/MacOSKen. This show is also sponsored by NordLayer, toggle-ready network security built for today's business. NordLayer is a layer of security that combines VPN, access control, and threat protection in one easy-to-use platform. You know all about Nord's protection bit. They've been helping consumers like us surf the web safely behind their VPN for years. Now they're doing safety for business with the layer part. NordLayer is a system that works over and with the hardware you already have, be that Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS, or a combination of all of that. In addition to what they do, NordLayer has partnered with CrowdStrike, bringing Falcon endpoint protection to small and mid-sized business. That is your business, getting enterprise-grade security that's simple to deploy, simple to manage, and easy on the bottom line. Plans start at just $8 per user per month. They got special rates for teams of 100 people or more, and a special offer for macOS Ken listeners. Get up to 22% off NordLayer yearly plans plus 10% on top with offer code MacOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/MacOSKen. Try it risk-free with their 14-day money-back guarantee. NordLayer, toggle-ready network security built for your business. Get savings on top of savings with offer code MacOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/MacOSKen. $599 here, $699 there. Eventually you're talking about $50,000. That is the latest take on MacBook Neo from 9to5Mac. Actually, we could say $499 here and $599 there, since they're available for students at an education discount of $100 off, and students are the buyers on which the article hinges. Actually, it's an argument that was born well before the MacBook Neo, or any MacBook, come to think of it. Way back in the 1980s, says 9to5Mac's Ben Lovejoy, In Search of Excellence author Tom Peters wrote about the concept of a lifetime value of a customer. Lifetime value, or customer lifetime value, is a way of thinking about the total profit a company will make during the entire life of a loyal customer if they keep them happy. You can see where this is going, right? While people can leave the Apple ecosystem, once they're in it, they usually don't. So $500 spent on a kid's laptop when they're 14 leads to another $1,000 or so when they're 18, leads to iPhones and AirPods and more Macs and more iPhones. And hey, have you heard about all these services Apple keeps pushing? And on, year after year, decade after decade, to a sort of depressing sounding $50,000 from Kid A to Apple. You know, between Horace Didier talking about Apple owning its customers and Lovejoy stripping us down to our monetary value, I am really feeling my fountain pens and lino cuts and other analog pastimes right now. I won't go through all of Lovejoy's numbers, but it comes out to $49,182 over the life of a customer, of which Lovejoy figures around $18,000 is profit. Not bad, he writes, for a relationship established by selling a $499 computer back in 2026. Apple has published its first background security improvement update, according to TechCrunch. Either they don't work how they're supposed to work, or I don't understand how they're supposed to work. The piece says yesterday's update was meant to patch a security bug in Safari for iPhone, iPad, and the Mac. And according to the report, Apple indicated in a security advisory that a security researcher discovered a bug in WebKit, the browser engine that powers Safari and other apps. The bug, if exploited, could allow a malicious website to potentially access data from another website in the same browser session. All of that sounds fine. I mean, it sounds bad, but I get it. No, the part I don't get, I thought the whole point of background security improvement was set it and forget it. You can go in and set the thing to download and install automatically, which I did as soon as they became available. And yet, TechCrunch said when they downloaded the new background security update, it only required a quick device restart rather than the longer reboot typically reserved for software updates containing more substantial fixes. So they had to do it themselves? Yes, they did. And so did I. And yeah, it took less time than a full install and reboot, but I thought the whole point was set it and forget it. Anyway, there's a background security improvement either available for your devices or already installed, maybe. Best of luck. Apple Watch in mainland China can now keep an eye out for AFib. Apple China issued a press release Tuesday, a machine translation of which says Apple Watch users can now turn on atrial fibrillation notifications and tracking in the Middle Kingdom. Nike has teamed with Apple subsidiary Beats on a product. Engadget says the two have partnered on a new color option for Powerbeats Pro 2, Nike Special Edition. Beats exec Chris Thorne was quoted as saying, "This isn't just a new colorway, it's a collision of two brands that define performance, culture, and sports, the attributes of today's athlete." Don't tell them I said this, but it really is just a new colorway. Not that they're not something. The piece says Nike's Volt palette takes center stage with its love it or hate it electric yellow-green motif. Personally, I kind of dig it. Not that I'm in the market. They've also got the Beats B on one stopper and the Nike Swoosh on the other. The case is also splattered with voltage. Otherwise, the piece says these are the same Powerbeats Pro 2 earphones that launched last year, selling for the same $250 as the regular models. The limited edition Powerbeats Pro 2 Nike Special Edition go up for sale this Friday, the 20th of March. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Clean My Mac, your solution for care and control of your Mac. You know what Clean My Mac does. It cleans your Mac. But it does a lot more than that. It all starts with Smart Care, a Mac optimization routine that deep cleans your Mac, scans for potential threats, boosts your Mac's performance, runs software updates, and declutters your storage. So yeah, Clean My Mac is a cleaner. It's a maintenance app, it works to protect your machine, and it saves you space and time. And it'll tell you how much. The new My Activity tool lets you know how much space on your Mac you've reclaimed and how much effort you've saved, letting Clean My Mac do it for you. So let it do it for you. Get tidy today. Try 7 days free and use my code MacOSKen20 for 20% off at clnmy.com/MacOSKen. Make macOSKen all caps in both cases. That way they know where you heard about it and you get the discount. Try 7 days free and use my code MacOSKen20 for 20% off at clnmy.com/MacOSKen. Again, MacOSKen is all caps, both places. Use code MacOSKen20 for 20% off at clnmy.com/MacOSKen. macOS can. Apple CEO Tim Cook did an interview with ABC, or for ABC's Good Morning America on Tuesday. That's when it aired anyway. I don't know what to tell you. Probably the biggest news, and this happens with help from 9 to 5 Mac, probably the biggest news was the announcement that Apple is expanding its partnership with the organization Save the Music. That'll see Apple nearly double the number of schools with which Apple's involved, from the current 25 to nearly 50, I guess, reaching 25,000 kids next year with music education. That is cool. Asked about AI and privacy, Cook said, technology doesn't want to be good and it doesn't want to be bad. It is in the hands of the user and the hands of the inventor. So maybe the interviewer could have asked about the inventors, but whatever. Cook did talk about Edge AI, running as much of the AI as they can on device and running what can be run on device through private cloud compute. Both of those should keep a user's private data private. Now, despite claiming to be not a political person on either side, Cook gave a very politically aware answer on the question of tariffs. Noting that Apple paid over $3 billion in tariffs, the host wondered whether Apple would sue to get that money back after a recent SCOTUS ruling saying the tariffs shouldn't have been charged in the first place. Well, said Cook, we're monitoring the situation and to see what the courts will rule there, and we'll decide accordingly. Yeah, no point in upsetting this administration yet, right? I will bet you Apple does not go after this money until the current administration is gone. No point in upsetting this administration ever seems to be Cook's thinking based on his actions. Speaking of, it was in response to a question about being at the inauguration, for which Cook donated $1 million, giving the president a trophy, and attending the Melania documentary at the White House, that Cook said, "Hey, I'm not political." The full answer, well, what I do is I interact on policy, not politics. I'm not a political person on either side. I'm not political. And so I'm kind of straight down the middle and I focus on policy. And so I'm very pleased that the president and the administration is accessible to talk about policy. Oh, cool, they're accessible. You know, we should all try it. I'm sure the accessibility Mr. Cook prizes has nothing to do with the $1 million inauguration donation or Apple's donation to the maybe illegal ballroom, or the $600 billion Apple's investing in the U.S., or Cook turning up to the president's black tie movie night the same day armed forces under the president's control killed a guy who was trying to help a woman up off the ground after she was knocked to the ground by the same armed forces. Cook's just a non-political guy who appreciates how accessible the president and his administration are. Also, Cook apparently has no plans to retire. It was a terrible interview. It was poorly edited. It is up on the ABC News site. Watch it if you want to. I really wish I had not. Okay, let's talk about dumb stuff instead. We'll wrap the day not with TV about Apple, but news of Apple TV. There's a new kids series coming. Apple's video streamer issued a press release Tuesday announcing My Brother the Minotaur. Restart My Mother the Car, you cowards. Restart. See, it's a car joke. Apple describes the series, saying My Brother the Minotaur is a thrilling mix of folklore, mystery, and adventure about a young Minotaur, half boy, half bull, found and raised in the human world. With the help of his fiercely loyal human brother, he recruits a bold group of friends to uncover the mystery of his Minotaur past and fulfill his destiny, all while battling dark forces determined to see him fail. Same. Centered on universal themes of growing up, feeling different, and discovering where you belong, Apple says the series celebrates finding the people who truly see you and the places that feel like home. Produced by Academy Award-nominated Cartoon Saloon, no trailer for this one yet. That's kind of surprising since it really is coming up quick. My Brother the Minotaur hits Apple TV on Friday, the 24th of April. Apple TV's got a really interesting-looking movie coming next month. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release Tuesday teasing the Jonah Hill-directed, Keanu Reeves-led comedy Outcome and releasing a trailer too. Describing the film, the release says Outcome is a dark comedy that centers on Reef Hawk, a beloved Hollywood star who must dive into the depths of his hidden demons after he's extorted with a mysterious video that is sure to shatter his image and end his career. With the support of his lifelong besties, along with his crisis lawyer, Reef embarks on a soul-searching journey to make amends with anyone he could have possibly wronged in hopes of identifying the person blackmailing him. Reeves plays Reef, of course. Jonah Hill's both behind the camera and in front of it. He plays the crisis lawyer. Other cast members include Cameron Diaz, Matt Bomer, Susan Lucci, Laverne Cox, David Spade, Roy Wood Jr., and Martin Scorsese. Straight to streaming for this one, it seems. Outcome premieres globally on Apple TV on Friday, the 10th of April. The seriously intriguing trailer is up now on YouTube. And finally, firing off today on Apple TV, the Elizabeth Moss, Kerry Washington, Kate Mara drama, Imperfect Women. Based on the novel of the same name by Armanita Hall, Apple's description says Imperfect Women examines a crime that shatters the lives of 3 women in a decades-long friendship. The unconventional thriller explores guilt and retribution, love and betrayal, and the compromises we make that irrevocably alter our lives. As the investigation unfolds, so does the truth about how even the closest friendships may not be what they seem. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac has early reviews comparing the show to such hit series as Big Little Lies and Little Fires Everywhere. There's a trailer on YouTube if you want to check it out, or you can dive right in. The first 2 episodes are up now on Apple TV. macOS Ken, brought to you by me, and sponsored by NordLayer, toggle-ready network security built for your business. Get savings on top of savings with offer code macOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Clean My Mac. Try 7 days free and use my code macOSKen20 for 20% off at clnmy.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macOSKen.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Leonard likes this post.